Hi folks, I'm back and I want to talk about solutions to the Social Security problem. So in a previous video I talked about basically how the system is broke, and before I start the solutions, I just want to try to bring the idea of being broke down to a real practical level. Suppose you had an island and everybody ate nothing but fish and corn, and that was their economy, was fish and corn. Well, suddenly somebody told them, well, you are the greatest island in the world and you don't have to worry about anything. We're going to take care of everybody, so go ahead and I'm the new king, and I'm going to give everybody fish and everybody corn, and nobody has to work anymore. So I go into all the stores of corn and all the stores of fish and start feeding everybody fish and corn, and they start making beer and tequila and vodka out of the corn, and eating the dried fish and just partying for weeks and weeks and months and maybe years and years. And meanwhile, it gets a little cold, so they burn up the fishing boats. They don't need them anymore because they're the richest island in the world, and we can take care of everybody just on our wonderful economy, and just take from, especially the people who are rich in corn and rich in fish, just take it from them, and we'll just have a big party. And the party goes on and everything seems fine, and meanwhile the fishing boats are burned and none of the fields are being tilled. And then they even break into the stores of seed corn. And then one day everybody wakes up and realizes the emperor has no clothes, and there's no corn and there's no fish, and they're screwed. So that's the situation where people have been saying the United States of America is the greatest economy in the world, and we don't have to worry about borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and taxing and taxing and taxing, that we can take care of everybody and nobody has to work and everybody can be happy. And especially if we take money from the people who do work hard, we can live even better. And not only that, but we are so rich that we can go ahead and throw our corn all over the world and throw our fish all over the world and buy friends all over the world. And if they don't want to be our friends, then we can feed our soldiers fish and corn and let them go kill the people who aren't friendly to us because they burned down our building. So that's the situation we got now. Now what's the solution? Well, the solution is we got to get back to encouraging people to grow corn, and encouraging people to fish, and encouraging people to save their corn and fish for when they get old, and for helping out their community. We also need to encourage people to be responsible for the people in their own community and for their family and for their friends, and enable them to be wealthy enough and rich enough to save resources so they can build more fishing boats and make better cornfields and more cornfields, and figure out even better ways to make food than corn. So all that requires people privately being able to do what they do naturally, which is try to feed themselves, try to take care of their family, try to take care of their community. And if people think that the king's going to take care of it, then they don't take care of it themselves, and the king will pretend to take care of it for as long as he can till he's broke. So that's the situation now. So what do we need to do on a practical level? First of all, we need to face the fact that we don't need to spend on a military budget more than all the other countries in the whole world. We are naturally the safest country in the world. We have a friendly country to the north of us, a friendly country to the south of us, and two very large oceans on either side. And there's no other country in the world, well, with the exception of possibly Canada, that's in a more secure position than we are. The poor Russians have, who knows, 30 countries on their borders, with people filled with hate for them for all kinds of historical reasons. You've got the Chinese that have the Japanese on one side who killed millions of them just a half century ago. Have the Mongols to the north who invaded them a number of times. The Russians to the north. They've got the Afghanis to the west. They've got the Vietnamese to the south who've actually fought with them. So the Chinese are in an inherently insecure position, and their military budget is a fraction of theirs. Or the Iranians. Look at the world from the Iranian point of view. They've been there for thousands of years, and they've got enemies on all sides. So we don't need to be this paranoid. We can say we're brave enough and we're strong enough that we don't have to have the largest military in the world. We can defend ourselves easily with a way smaller military. And that's one way we can start to save our corn. Another way we can save our corn is to stop throwing our corn at the rich people. So right now, the Congress spent $1 trillion on the bailouts for the banks. They're spending, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are to hold up housing prices. That's the opposite of making them affordable. Trying to keep housing unaffordable, they have a credit line of $12 trillion. We pour all that corn into Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and AIG, just so all the people hold their bonds, all the rich banks and stuff, and that hold their bonds don't lose. Well, those people will be fat and sassy, and the rest of us will be starving, because comes a point where people are going to stop investing in the United States, stop buying our bonds if they see they really can't be paid back. So we've got to get serious about not throwing our good money after bad. At that point, maybe we'll have enough money to start to at least meet the most essential promises of Social Security for those who really can't make it any other way. But we've really also got to make it much easier for people to save and invest and buy security for their own age, with institutions that actually keep the money in the bank and don't just burn it up in wars. So first, let's get rid of the war machine. Then let's stop feeding the bankers and all the people who took risks and protecting them from their own stupid mistakes. And then we maybe will have the resources to take care of our own in the proper way. It's the only way out, folks. It's the only responsible way out. Thanks.